Hey everyone, Steven here from Strangely Awesome, and today we'll be tier listing the Balatro Jokers. The game's been out for over a year, but it is still one of my favorite games, and I want to do this video, so here we are. I'm not particularly looking at it from a white stake, gold stake view or any particular deck. It's kind of just a general where am I putting each of these jokers depending on when I get them across kind of a myriad of runs. So we got a bunch of categories here. We got the GOATs. We got always taking, then mostly taking, situationally good, rarely taking, once in a blue moon, and trash. For the GOAT, I decided we're going to put one of each rarity in there. So one common, one uncommon, one rare, and one legendary into the GOAT category. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. All right, first up we have 8-ball. Oh man, I hate taking 8-ball. I'm gonna go in the rarely taking category. It's fine if I can get it early-ish and I need some jokers, but man, the 1 in 4 never feels like 1 in 4, and it's not my favorite joker. Next up, we got Abstract Joker, which I personally love. Just the flat malt when you have the jokers filled out. So I'm putting it in almost mostly taking. I'm going to mostly select Abstract. That +3 per joker just really works. And I don't know, it just feels, maybe it's safe. And it's unneeded towards a lot of high score runs, but it's just a fun joker to have. Acrobat is not my favorite joker, mostly because I'm usually trying not to wait till the last hand, mostly for money reasons, but it's situationally good whenever you get up against the needle, having to play only one hand. That ×3 can feel good, or Dusk if you pair it with Dusk, but for the most part, situationally good. Ancient Joker is also in mostly taking. It probably should be always taking, but again, like, having to balance suits can mean, like, I don't feel like it, but towards the end of a run when you've kind of pared your deck down, it's probably an always taking. I'm never unhappy to see it, and it usually winds up in my, joker slots. Then we have Arrowhead, the +50 chips per spade. It's fine. I'm early, it's okay. So I'm putting it rarely taking because I'm usually looking to get out of it. Astronomer is situationally good for me. I'm mostly taking it if I can have it because free planets and free celestial packs is always good, and of course it pairs wonderfully with Constellation. I'm not always taking it depending on the run I'm going for, but it's probably a mostly taking, especially early. I would usually look to sell out of it later, but for right now I'm putting it in mostly taking. Discard or banner, sorry, for the discards is a once in a blue moon. It is definitely an early joker that can help get you through some of the early antes, but it's one of the first ones to go. Next we have Baron, which is probably the hardest joker to rank. I love Baron runs. I love playing them. I love watching other people play them, and yet it's not usually good, depending on what type of run you're going for. And yet I'm still probably always taking it, but I have skipped it, so I don't know. It's technically situationally good, but man, do I love a good Baron run. I'll put it in situationally good, but it is personally almost always taking. I'm going to put it in mostly taking. If I can get a good Baron run, I'm pretty happy. I just love the Baron run. I don't know. It might be boring to some, but I have fun with it. Up next, we have Baseball Card, which another great one. It's situationally good into mostly taking. It depends how many uncommons I have, but it is a fun one, especially on lower stakes. Upper stakes, it's not as good, but I do enjoy it. And, baseball is a great sport, so it's partially why. And I love the Joker in his little outfit. It reminds me of the Phillies for some reason. So I'm going to put it in situationally good. I'm not unhappy to see it, but I'm not taking it every time. We do have Blackboard up next, and Blackboard I'm almost always taking as well. It's not too hard to make your deck full of spades and clubs. Of course, I'm taking it if I don't have the next Joker because, well, I mean, it can work with it depending on how you play and how you set your deck up. But I do love Blackboard. So I'm putting it in the always taking. Bloodstone, again, is pretty much an always take. Hearts are one of the better suits, and Heartstone's one of the main reasons why. It's a very good Joker early, can help you get out of the early antes, and then you can build into it, especially if you get the oops all sixes. So I'm in the always taking. Blue Joker is up next, and I actually really like Blue Joker early. I don't think it's great later, and there's other better chip Jokers, but it's really not that bad. Depending what type of deck you're building. If as you pare down, it does become worse. So I'm putting it in situationally good. I'm looking to get out of it early, but I enjoy having it for the early antes. Up next, Blueprint, easy, it's GOAT. It's probably the best Joker there is. It's not great on its own, obviously, because you need to copy something else, but you pair it with the Ancient Joker, the Baron, the Heartstone, the Blackboard. Like, you can survive pretty much any run, as long as you don't get ruined by a bad boss blind if you are unprepared, and I have been many times unprepared for them, but it's still the best Joker, and I think it's the best rare Joker for sure. Alright, up next we have Bootstraps. Bootstraps is good for the plus mult as you get your econ sorted. However, I'm usually looking to spend my econ, so unless I have seed money or money tree, like, I'm kind of spending down to 25, and by then you only have plus 10 mult, which isn't anything horrible. It can be situationally good, and it can win runs, but I'm not usually taking it most times. The pair of Blueprint is, of course, Brainstorm, and Brainstorm is always taking. Blueprint's just more flexible because Brainstorm copies the leftmost Joker, so I prefer a Blueprint over a Brainstorm, but they're both amazing Jokers. And then we have Bull for the same sort of idea as Bootstraps. It's good for chips with money, but again, I'm looking to spend down, but it can be really good. I'm going to put it in situationally good. I'm not unhappy to see it, especially if I have baseball card, but it's not a run I'm usually building around. Following that, we have Burglar. I love Burglar. I didn't fully get how good it was early, but you pair it with Blueprint, and you have a great amount of hands, which allows you to get a lot of money, both if you just by having extra hands left over, and then if you pair it with like mail and rebate. It does ruin any purple seals or any discard jokers, so that kind of stinks, but Burglar can be very, very fun to play with. I'm gonna put it into mostly taking, but I'm gonna slip it into always taking. It's really, really a good Joker. After that, we got Burnt Joker, another good Joker, upgrading the level of your first discarded hand. A great Joker. If I have space, I'm always taking it. I will get out of it early-ish, but it can help out quite a bit, especially in the early, or on lower stakes when you don't have the -1 discard that can really punish you. And with purple seals, it does kind of counteract, and I do like my purple seals, but still, Burnt Joker is pretty great, and I'm never unhappy to see it. Business card is, again, mostly taking. It can be situationally good if you're trying to pair it with a Baron. I mean, it definitely is less good if you're doing a high card build, but it's still good money early on, and usually face cards are what you're trying to play as you try to get the chips needed to advance, so I'm always happy for a business card. After that, we got Campfire. Campfire I'm not ever unhappy about, but you definitely need good econ, so I'm going to go in the mostly taking. There are times, of course, I mean, for all these Jokers, there's times I would not take it, but it's not one I would necessarily want to build around depending on what type of run I want to do. It is really good in high stakes if you have good econ, but it also is not as fun. So that's why I kind of get it out of always taking. It is really good. All right, our first legendary Joker is Canio, and this one requires your face cards to be destroyed. It's not my most favorite of the legendaries. I'll put it into situationally good. You mean you pair it with glass cards or hangmans, and it can be good. Or if you have like a hack and you're playing low cards, then you can destroy them all and get this up nicely. I'm never like unhappy to get it, but I would prefer some of the other legendaries, so I'm going to go with the mostly taking. We have Card Sharp up next, that ×3 molt if you've already played your poker hand. Pairs really nicely with Burglar. I actually really like Card Sharp. It's probably my second favorite of the like times molts. It's a really good uncommon, so I'll put it here. After that, we got Cartomancer, which allows tarot cards to be created. Pairs well with Brainstorm and Blueprint. It's a great Joker. I'm pretty much always taking it if I have space. I don't necessarily keep it, but it's pretty good. Castle's up next, which gives you +3 chips per discarded suit, but the suit changes. It's situationally good. It can get pretty good, depending on your hand and like what you're doing with your deck. It's not my most favorite chip Joker, but it's not bad. After that, we got Cavendish, which to me is the GOAT. I mean, it's not necessarily the easiest to get because you need to break the Gross Michael, but the ×3 mole is pretty free and can win you gold stake runs pretty easily. Fun fact for me, I still don't have gold stake on Cavendish, but I had gold stake on Gross Michael, which is one of the harder ones in my opinion to get gold stake on, just because of the Joker being destroyed. I wanted it to be destroyed because I wanted the Cavendish to help me through the gold stake run, and I had Gross Michael since like 4 or 5, and it just survived. So fun fact with my Gross Michael. Up next, we have Ceremonial Dagger. I don't love this Joker. I don't like feeding it other Jokers. I'm sure it's good. It's just not my favorite. It's fine, but it definitely requires situational management, and it's just something I don't want to deal with. So I'm putting it in rarely taking. Certificate I actually really like. Getting the seals, red seals, purple seals, blue seals, all great. Gold seals is one I'm not super looking forward to. Pairs wonderfully with hologram. I enjoy it. I'm going to put it in mostly taking because I'm never unhappy to have it. Well, okay, there are many times I'm unhappy to have it. But early on, and depending on how I'm going about my runs, I do enjoy the certificate. Alright, up next we have Chaos, the Clown. 1 free reroll, always wonderful. It saves you at least $1 whenever you get it, sometimes more depending on how many rerolls. This one's always taking if I have space. I don't keep it for a long time, but it definitely can help your econ early. And it's everyone's least favorite legendary up next, Chico. Chico is really good in the sense that it makes it so you don't accidentally make a mistake by having to run up against a plant when you're dealing with a Baron run, but it's of course not your favorite legendary to see pop out. I'm putting it in mostly taking because again, it's a legendary and I'm not going to sell it unless there's just better options out there, which there are, and I would sell out of it, but it can be good, and it can actually give you hand size depending on what boss blind you run into. Alright, up next is Clever Joker, which is +80 chips for a 2-pair. It's fine early, but I'm looking to get out of it pretty quickly. Cloud9's up next. Good money, $4 per hand, or per round, I should say, as long as you haven't destroyed any 9s, and you can definitely build into it. It's good for money early. I'm putting it situationally good. Constellation up next. It's probably my GOAT for uncommons. You pair it with the astronomer or just good econ, and it can get pretty high and definitely win you gold stake runs. It's not good for, endless, but it's fun. I mean, it's really good for the standard anti-8 runs. Crafty Joker's up next. Plus 80 chips for flushes. Again, I'll put it in rarely taking because most people usually play flushes early because it's one of the easier hands to get early. So the extra 80 chips can help you out in some early stakes and save you money as you build that econ. Crazy Joker, another one, rarely taking. It'll put it in situationally good. Plus 12 mult for straights, not bad. Can definitely get you through some of the early antes on its own. Credit card up next. I personally find this to be one of the most useless jokers. It can get you a blueprint or brainstorm sometimes, and anyone who is in the Balatro community has seen the blueprint or brainstorm out there, not enough money, and you open the pack, and then credit card's right there. And that's like the situationally great times for credit card, but unless you're playing with Vagabond, it's better off, building your money up. Though it can interact well with things like the Ox, where it sets your money to 0. So you can go negative and then basically have 20 for extra dollars. So it's not that bad. I'll put it in once in a blue moon. I'm usually not taking it, but it's fine. Delayed gratification up next. I'm going to put this in trash. It's my first trash joker. I hate not being able to discard. It pairs okay with burglar. Actually, I don't even know if it does now that I think about it, because technically, well, you wouldn't have used the discard, but you also have 0. I think it pairs well. I've never tested it. I just don't like it at all. It's not that much money. It's only $2 per discard, and it's terrible on higher stakes when you only have 2 discards. It's just a bad joker. It's not. I don't like it at all. Devious, the same idea as Crafty, but it's the plus 100 chips for straight rather than for flush. I might have mixed that joke. No, I did that right. It's fine. Once in a blue moon. It's good early. That's about it. Diet Cola, also, it's fine. I'll take it and sell it. It's nice when you have rentals because it's $1, so it's basically free. So I'll put it in situationally good for high stakes. But I'm usually not skipping because skipping is a trap and almost always bad. So there's better jokers out there. Up next, we got DNA, which copies the first card you play per hand. DNA is great. It's definitely a trap and can be very, very, very run-ending. And I've had runs ended to when I thought I had enough points and I didn't. And I got greedy. And so that was a lesson in don't be dumb when it comes to DNA. But I want to put it in situationally good. It's almost always... it's not the worst thing to see, especially if you have some seals and some good cards. Driver's license, another one. Early on, when I first started playing Balatro, was what is this card even? It's hard to get 16 enhanced cards, and now I'm I'm always taking it. It's a good ×3, especially because I love magician cards, or the lucky cards using magician. Not super hard in the middle to late parts of the antes to get 16 enhanced cards. So this is another one where I'm mostly always taking it. Droll Joker's up next, which is like Crazy Joker, in that you get plus 10 mult for flushes. Again, it's good early, and then it falls off a cliff, but it's fine. I think I've taken it pretty far. I probably have I think I have a gold stake on this one. I'm going to put it in rarely taking to it's situationally okay. It's not my favorite joker, but it will get you through pretty far. All right, up next we have Drunkard, which can be very good. In fact, it usually is pretty good. I'm going to always take it to mostly taking early. Having an extra discard for purple seals or for just getting your hands can be very nice. I usually want to get out of it eventually, but it can be good. Dusk we have up next, which re-triggers your final cards. I'm going to put it as well in situationally good, and I'll put it right next to Acrobat as they pair pretty nicely together, in the sense that you're looking to play in the last hand, though by the time, if you're playing Dusk, Acrobat's probably useless because you're looking at card triggers, but the ×3 can't hurt. So we'll put them next to each other, but it's good. It's just kind of annoying to play around sometimes. Egg is situationally good to mostly taking. It can be good money early. It works well with Temperance and with Swashbuckler. I'll put it in situationally good, but I'm not unhappy when I see an egg early. Up next we have Erosion. Erosion is another one where it's situationally good. Like, I usually see these early, so I'm like, and then I don't get any hangmans or other ways to destroy the cards. It can be good plus mult, but by the time you have your deck pared down, you don't necessarily need the plus mult, so it's not the worst Joker, but it's not the best Joker. Actually, I'll put it in rarely taking for that reason alone. We need some more down there anyways. Even Steven up next. Playing even cards gives +4 mult per card scored. It's fine. It's good early, and then it kind of falls off a cliff. And by the time your deck is pared down, there's better Jokers than even Steven. It's just fine. Faceless Joker, it's decent money, though a lot of times when I want to play face cards, so I don't really necessarily want to discard them. I'll put it in rarely taking. If it comes out of a Judgment or from Riff Raff, I'm not like super unhappy, and I will try to play around it if I can for the extra money, but not the best money Joker. Fibonacci's up next, which is a very good card. Early, I mean, the +8 mult for Ace 2, 3, 5, and 8 with the 2s and 3s, and the 5s working well with Hack. So Fibonacci can save runs. I'll put it in situationally good. Most of the time, I'm not unhappy to see it. Flashcards up next, and if you have good econ and good re-rolling, this can get pretty big, which is nice because the +2 mult per reroll. Pair that with Chaos and it grows pretty big. So I'm going to put it in mostly taking because, especially early, I do like a good flash card. Flower Pot's up next, which is ×3 mult if you contain one of each of the suits. It's fine. It's not my favorite of the ×3 mult cards, and it's hard to work around unless you have the wild cards, which the Lover's card only gives you the 1 card, and it can kind of feel not great. So it can be good if you build around it, but again, it's not my most favorite one to see. Fortune Teller's up next, +1 mult per tarot card used. This is one of my most used ones. I'm going to put it in always taking. I think there's better plus mults out there, but I use so many tarot cards that this one usually sticks with the run for a long time for me. And it was one of my first gold stakes or gold seals, and yeah, I just love this Joker. So I'm putting it always taking. You can disagree, but I love Fortune Teller. Four Fingers is up next. The 4 cards for flushes and straights. Flushes and straights can be very powerful. This can help very nicely with that if I'm running those types of builds. I'll put it in situationally good because obviously you're looking for flushes and straights, not anything else, but it's not bad. Gift cards up next, which adds $1 to every Joker and consumable. Pairs nice with Temperance. It's fine. I'm not excited to see it, and maybe I'm just using it wrong, but I'm going to put it in rarely taking. It's not my most favorite uncommon Joker, and I don't usually use it. Glass cards up Glass Joker's up next, which for every glass card destroyed gives or adds plus 0.75 mult. So it's a times mult Joker. It's fine, but again, by the time you're breaking so much glass, you probably don't need it. So it's not the best Joker for that, but I'm sure it can be good. I'm going to put it in rarely taking. Other people might get more out of it, but it's not my favorite. The first of the plus suit molts and gluttonous Joker, again, it's fine. Early can save you in the early antes and then falls off a cliff. I'll put it in rarely taking. I'm never taking these Jokers after the openings, but it's not bad, I guess, early. Golden Joker, another one. There's so many better econ Jokers, but early on, $4 at the end of round when you don't have that many Jokers, always good for having econ. I'll put it in rarely taking, but I'm not unexcited to see this. Golden Joker's up next, another one earning $4 per gold card rather than 3, meaning you need a lot of gold cards. It can get you a lot of money with re-triggers, so we'll put it in situationally good for the econ later, but it's not one I'm putting it in rarely taking. It's very situational, like more so than that. Greedy's up next. Diamonds, +3 molt per diamond card. Again, rarely taking. Actually, probably even more so once in a blue moon because diamonds are probably my least favorite suit, and they're not very good. Green Joker's up next. +1 molt per hand played, +1 per disc or -1 per discard. Pairs wonderfully if you have a burglar. It can get pretty high depending on the types of hands you're playing. I don't love it, but I know there's a lot of people that do. I'll put it in situationally good. You can yell at me all you want. It's just not my favorite Joker. I'm not underrating it. I understand it can be good. I just would rather not play around it if I don't have to. We have Gross Michael up next, and Gross Michael's always taking mostly for the Cavendish. Especially early 15 molt is great, and then it gets destroyed, and then you get the chance at the Cavendish. So I'm a big fan of the Gross Michael. Hack's up next for the re-triggers for 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll put this in the mostly taking. There's almost... It depends. I mean, if I get it early and I know I'm building around it, it's great. Later, obviously if I'm going a King's build, I'm not pivoting into a hack. But hack, I'm not unhappy to see it, so I'll put it here. Half Joker's up next. Half Joker's another one where I'm kind of mostly taking it. The +20 molt for 3 or fewer cards, like it's good molt early. You get rid of it later, but it can save some early games, so I'm not unhappy for it. Hallucinations up next. 1 in 2 chance for whenever you open a booster pack to get a tarot card. I've come around on it. It's never fun to open the booster pack and not get the tarot card, and that, I don't enjoy. But it's good for a couple rounds, especially if you have the open Joker slot, because free tarot cards are free tarot cards, and they're usually always helpful, or you can at least sell them for $1. So we'll put it here in the mostly taking. Up next, we have Hanging Chad, which re-triggers the first card twice. Is almost always an always take, because Photo Chad is probably the best combo in the game. Can, get you pretty far. So I'll put it in always taking because it is iconic in Balatro land. Up next, we have the Hiker, which adds +5 chips when scored, which triggers nicely with re-trigger effects, like, the Hanging Chad. It's situationally good, pretty good on Plasma deck, and just can kind of get your scores up a little bit. It's not the best Joker, and I'm not thrilled when I see it, but it's not the first one to go most of the time either. Then we have Hit the Road, which I personally hate having to deal with, as it, gains per Jack discarded this round and then resets. And I hate having to, deal with that. So I'm going to put it in rarely taking. It's probably my least Actually, I'll put it in once in a blue moon. I really don't like having to deal with it. It's not bad. It's just not great. Hologram, always taking. Like I said, pairs nicely with certificate. The free molt, adding playing cards. It's really not that bad to add playing cards because... Well, again, I mean, the certificate's not great because you get the random cards, but a lot of times there's good choices inside of the packs, and I don't hate it. most of the time. And then DNA, of course, also pairs well with it. Ice Cream up next. The plus 100 chips, great early. We'll put it in situationally good. I'm taking it early, less so late. I try to sell out of it as, the chips start to dwindle, but it's really not bad early. Invisible Joker is a mostly take for me. It's great if you have good Jokers you want to copy, but it's never fun when it copies an Eternal, Joker that's less useful, which I've definitely had happen before. So we'll put it in mostly taking. I'm mostly taking it. Jimbo's up next, or just the regular Joker. Plus 4 mult. Great early, terrible late. We'll put it in rarely taking. But if I see it early, I'm not taking it. Stencils 1, where you get ×1 mult for each empty Joker slot. It's fine. It can be good early on, and then it falls off a cliff, because usually you want to build around Jokers. I'm sure you can, have a semi-Jokerless challenge and be good with it, but I would rather have my 5 Jokers than not. So we'll put it here in rarely taking. Jolly Joker up next, plus 8 mult per if you play a pair. It's, again, once in a blue moon. It's not horrible early, but I'm usually not excited for it later. And actually, I'm going to move Joker down here, too, because I don't want to have to deal with it. Juggler up next, plus 1 hand size, always great. If I have space, I'm taking it. Loyalty card up next. This one I personally can't stand. I'm sure that you can play around it. I just don't want to. ×4 mult is good. It's the best ×4, just flat mult, like flat times mult. But again, every 6 hands, that's tough to deal with. And I don't want to most of the time, so I'm putting it once in a blue moon. Luchador selling the card to disable the current boss blind. Great Joker. I just am really bad at taking it when I need it, and then I, screw myself over. So it's probably belongs in situationally good, even if, again, you just don't want to see it because there's other Jokers. Lucky Cat, like I said, I love my lucky cards, so this is an always take for me. The times, or the gains the 0.25 times mult every time a lucky card triggers is wonderful. And again, retrigger effects, red seals, the hanging Chad, wonderful with it. So great. Lusty Joker up next, probably the best of the just per suit plus 3 mult because of the Bloodstone. And you put it in front of the Bloodstone, it can save you early. So I'm going to put it in rarely taking, which is above the other two, or it's about the same as Gluttonous. I'll put it here. I wouldn't ever say it's situationally good, but it's probably the strongest of the bunch. Coming up next, we have Mad Joker, which is a plus 10 mult per 2 whenever you play a 2 pair. It's fine. Once in a blue moon. I don't think more needs to be said. Madness is up next. Whenever the small or big blind is chosen, you gain times 0.5 mult. But you destroy a random Joker. It pairs nicely when you have an Eternal run where a bunch of your cards are Eternal, because it doesn't matter if it actually destroys it, unlike Ceremonial Dagger. However, I'm rarely taking this. It's very, very rare I have that situation, so probably in here. It's usually better than the once in a blue moon cards. Mail-in Rebate is the best Econ Joker in the game, and I mean, it just is. So putting it in always taking, because if I have the option, I'm taking it. Marble Joker is fine, again, with hologram and some high cards, because you get the stone cards, but I'm not keeping it for very long. I'll put it in rarely taking. It's not bad, but it's not great. Matador is broken, so sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. And so again, I usually just avoid it because I don't want to deal with it and it takes up a Joker slot. So I'll put it in once in a blue moon. Mary Andy, the +3 discards, -1 hand size, depending on what type of a hand you're going for, is great. Purple Seals, I'm going to mostly take this because it's usually pretty good. Midas Mask up next, which turns all your face cards gold. Can be good. I'll put it situationally good. Most of the time I have lucky cards and I don't want to change them. So, and usually they're lucky face cards. So I avoid Midas Mask, but it pairs nicely with like Vampire. But it's fine. Mime's up next, which pairs super wonderfully with Baron, so I'll put it right next to Baron. I'm mostly taking it if I have a build that centers around cards in my hand rather than cards played. Misprint's up next. I love Misprint early on. I don't know why. I think it's just the randomness. 0 to plus 23. It's it's like the only gambling I do in this game, when you're hoping for that plus 23. It's probably pretty, bad on its own, but I just kind of always enjoy it, so I usually mostly take. Mr. Bones, situationally good. I guess it can save you if you need like one specific thing to happen or you just get unlucky one specific time, which prevents you from dying if you made 1/4 of the chip requirement. It's fine. Mystic Summit, plus 15 molt with 0 discards remaining. I don't hate this Joker early, especially on high stakes, because again, usually I'm discarding down to 0. It does suck when you forget to do that, and you're like, why is my score so low? We'll put it in rarely taking, but near the top, because it's not bad. Then we have Obelisk, which is one of the best gold stake jokers, but it is such a pain in the butt to deal with. But if you are good at building up like high cards to really high and then are able to do anything else, this can get pretty high and win you the run. So I'm going to put it into mostly taking right here at the top. It is good. It's just not my most favorite. Odd Todd is plus 31 chips per odd cards. It's fine. I'll put it in once in a blue moon. It's fine early, and then it's not great late. I'll put it right next to its friend, Even Steven. It'll go in the rarely taking category. Onyx Agate up next, plus 7 molt for club cards, which is obviously better than Gluttonous. It's, again, rarely taking. It's fine. That's just what it is. Oops All Sixes is really good with certain hands, so it's situationally good. It's bad with glass, and also I just tend not to have a ton of time where I'm playing around like lucky cards or things that need the probability increase. But when you pair it with Hearthstone, it's great. You pair it with lucky cards, it's pretty good. So I'll put it into mostly taking, because I usually am mostly playing lucky card builds. Up next we have Paradolia, which makes all cards face cards. It is situationally okay to probably rarely taking. There are times where it's good, like with the Midas Mask, but it's not the best. Perkeo or Perkeo, depending on your however you want to pronounce it, up next. It is really good. I'm not unhappy to see it. Great for infinite runs or trying to get the Nanymph. It's okay in regular like gold stake runs, but it can be a good source of money, especially paired with this one. So I'll put it into always taking, because again, you don't have a choice with the soul cards, and I'm probably happier than Chico or Chicot, however you pronounce it, and it's about tied with Canio, but I think I'm a little happier with Perkeo. Photograph, we'll put it right next to Hanging Chad, is wonderful. On its own, it's fine. Paired with Hanging Chad or I'm blanking on the other like retrigger face cards, it's great. Popcorn is an always take early, and then it falls off the cliff late, so we'll put it in situationally good, because it's situationally good early. Raise Fist, double the lowest rank card, can be pretty good. It's another situationally good. It can help out a lot early, and then you usually want to get rid of. Ramen's up next, and the ×2 molt, like, it sounded like a lot at first, and then you lose the 0.01 every time you discard for every card discarded, so it's rarely taking. Like, I can use it early, and then I usually get rid of it rather quickly. Red card, plus 3 molt whenever you don't choose a card in the booster pack, which makes booster packs the best, because either you get a good card or you get the plus 3 molt. I'm always mostly taking it. Depending on how good my econ is, red card is really good. Reserve parking's up next. The 1 and 2 chance for $1 from face cards can be quite good, especially with the Oops All Sixes. Depends on the type of builds you're going with. I think it's one of my least favorite econ cards out of like the ones that are up in the topper half. Like it's, bottom of the top half sort of situation here. So I'll put it into situationally good. Ride the bus. +1 mult per consecutive hand with no face cards. I hate this card. I put it in trash. I'm sure it's fine. And you can win with it, of course, or at least help out with it. But I just hate playing with it. I'm going to put it in trash. Riff Raff's up next. Creates 2 common jokers when you select the blind. I love this joker. Great econ early. I'm mostly taking it. It is, it's one you get out of, but early on, like, you love to see it. Because, again, 2 free jokers. And they can come with types, so that's even better. Rocket's a pretty good money joker early with the $1 at the end of the round, $2 increase every time you beat a boss blind, especially if you get, like, Hieroglyph and Petroglyph. But I'll put it in situationally good. There's better econ jokers. It's just not the worst. Up next, we got Rough Gem, which is $1 per diamond suit card scored. I hate this joker too because, again, I mean, money's great, but there's so many better jokers, and I'm not making diamonds usually. So I'll put it in once in a blue moon. Runner, 15 chips whenever you're playing straights. That is almost always a take, especially early on. And I will build around it because straights are not too hard to make, depending on how your deck building is, and it's just a pretty quality joker. All right, up next we have Seance, which is a spectral card whenever you have a straight flush. I think it's trash. I usually never build around straight flushes. I'm sure you can make it good, but it's just not the best. Then we have Satellite, which is $1 per unique planet card. I like Satellite quite a bit. I usually think it creates value whenever you open the constellation packs that don't have something you need, and a little bit of money is good. It's one I'm probably selling out of, but I'll put it right here next to Rocket. Scary Face, good early, falls off late, but decent chips, and the +30 per face card scored. Can pair pretty well with Photo Chat as well. Scholar, 20 chips and 4 mult whenever you play an ace, or whenever it's scored an ace. It's rarely taking, but it's not a card I'm unhappy to see early. Maybe less so late. Scholar's up next. We just did Scholar. Seeing Doubles up next, which is ×2 mult for a club and something else. I just don't feel like building around it, and there's just better times mult cards, so I'm putting it in rarely taking. It's better than Ramen. Actually, Ramen gets moved down to once in a blue moon. Seltzer, which triggers all cards in hand for the next 10 hands, is a great joker. I'm mostly taking it, depending on what my build is. Usually more later than early. Then we have Shoot the Moon, which is +13 mult for queens in your hand. Worse than Baron, but maybe better than Baron at times. I don't know. It's not the best, but it's not horrible. I usually don't want to build around it, so I'll put it in rarely. No, I'll put it in situationally good. It can be built around. It's just not my favorite. Shortcut, though, is great if you're playing straights, which allows you to skip cards for gaps of 1 rank for your straights. If I am doing a straight build, I am mostly taking it. Situationally good, probably where it belongs, because, again, you need to be doing straights, but it's pretty good. Showman up next, which allows cards to appear twice, so you can get 2 copies of the Baron, Blueprint, whatever. If I have space, I'm taking it, because, again, having 2 of the best scoring jokers is almost always good. The only time I wouldn't take it is early on, when I'm still looking for other jokers besides the ones I need copies of. We have 6 cents up next for every 6. If your first hand is a 6 on its own, it destroys it and gives you a spectral card, which is very good because it pairs your deck down, and you get a spectral card, which can give you a free rare joker, which not free, it sets your money to 0, or you can get seals that you need, like Deja Vu. So I'm going to put it in situationally good. I usually only like it early, but it can be good. Sly Joker up next, plus 50 chips for pairs. Once in a blue moon, it's fine. Smear Joker, which makes hearts and diamonds the same suit, and clubs and spades the same suit, can be pretty good for depending on what type of build, so let's put it in situationally good. I don't hate seeing it. Smiley Face gives plus 5 molt per face card, pairs with Pareidolia, and if you put it in front of the photograph, you can make that go a little bit higher. Can be good early. I'm going to put it in rarely taking, but it's not the worst. Oh yeah, Sock and Buskin. That's the one. Sock and Buskin re-triggers face cards. If I'm playing a face build, I'm always taking it. We'll put it in mostly taking because I'm not always playing a face card build, but it is... If you are playing Flush 5, you want to see it. Space Joker is one where you get the upgraded level. It's a 1 in 4 chance. Pairs nicely with the Oops All 6s. But man, does it feel not good when it doesn't hit. I'm going to put it in situationally good because usually I sell out of it because, again, it just makes me sad most of the time. Spare Trousers up next, which gives you plus 2 molt for every 2 pair. This can get pretty big, and it, can give you a good focus. I like Spare Trousers. I'm going to take it pretty early most of the time, just because I enjoy playing those builds. So I'm going to put it in mostly taking, even if it's not great. I just enjoyed playing that build. 2 pairs is a pretty bad hand to build around, though. Splash makes every played card count in scoring. It's good early-ish, but sucks late. I thought it was good like the first time I played, and then I realized it's pretty terrible. So I'm going to actually put it in trash, but it can be okay. But so can all these jokers down here. They're just what I view as not great jokers. We have Square Joker up next, which is plus 4 chips for every 4 card, or if you play a hand of only 4 cards, which isn't hard to do as long as you're not playing flushes or straights or 5 of a kind. It can get pretty good chips. So I'm going to say it's situationally good. I don't hate Square Joker. I know some people do, but I like it. Steel Joker, which gives gains 0.2 molt or times 0.2 molt for each steel card in your deck. But by the time this Joker is like good, you already have a bunch of steel cards. We'll put it into situationally good, but it's almost unneeded by the time you would like make it really good. Stone Joker, which gives plus 25 chips for every stone card in your deck. Same idea. It's fine. I'm going to rarely take it, but it's probably better than some of these other ones, just depending on the situation. Stuntman, which is the plus 250 chips minus 2 hand size. I'm going to put it in situationally good. It is good. The 250 chips is very good, but the minus 2 hand size can hurt a lot of builds, including high card builds if you're relying on a Baron. So I don't want to see it in Eternal, but I will take it most of the time early otherwise. Supernova, which adds the number of times poker hand's been played to the mult. You always think it's going to get bigger than it actually does, so it always feels worse than it is. So I'm going to put it in rarely taking. It's fine, but I don't know. It's not my favorite. Superposition up next creates a tarot card if you have a straight with an ace. It is good, but it's one of those where it just always feels like you're chasing it and you get greedy and then you don't get it and then your run's ruined because you've tried to force the ace straight when you had like 3 others because you want the free tarot card. Swashbuckler's up next, which again adds the sell value of all the other jokers to this one. I really like Swashbuckler, but I know some people don't. I'm putting it in mostly taking, though. I think it's good most of the time. And then we have the Duo, which is times 2 molt for a pair, which is situationally good. I'm never not happy to see this unless I'm playing flush builds. But the times 2 molt is pretty much free for most hands unless you're playing a high card or straights and flushes. But even flushes can happen with this if you make copies of things. Then we have the Family, which is times 4 molt for a 4 of a kind. Again, I'm taking this if I'm building around 4 of a kind. I think it's better than situationally good because it's times 4. It just means that you need to play for 4 or 5 of a kind. The Idol is another... It's probably the most situationally good. It can be pretty bad early if you don't have good deck building because it's not going to hit what you need. But once in the late game and when you go in for infinite, or even just high scores, like it's really fun to be around or to build around. So it's really mostly taking if it's in the right situation, but I think this is the prime situationally good, so I'm going to put it down there. All right, next we have the order, which is ×3 mult for straights. It's great if you're playing a straight run. It's mostly taking. The tribes ×2 mult for flushes. Again, mostly taking if I'm building a flush run. And then we have the trio, which is ×3 mult for 3 of a kind. And again, mostly taking. I think these 4 are just... I'm happier for than the pair one, even though... Well, I really am happy for all of them. I'll put all 4. We'll put them all together. The tribe, the family, the trio, the order, all together here in one happy family here in the mostly taking. Then we have Throwback, who I thought was a better Joker, and in fact, I think I tried to win a gold stake, one of my early gold stakes with this by skipping a lot, and I almost cost myself because it does not scale fast enough, and skipping is terrible in high stakes, and it's not great in low stakes. So I'm putting it in trash. It's probably the worst times mult that we have. All right, up next we have To-Do List, which gives $4 per played hand of the whatever type it's asking, and it changes at the end of the round. It's mostly taking for me. I actually like To-Do List, unless, when it hits the straight or... straight flush, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not doing that this round. But I like it better than some of the other ones. And when you get the high card and you have Burglar, for instance, like you can make a lot of money that way. To the Moon is situationally okay for a Econ Joker. The $1 interest for every $5. It can, if you have a lot of money, it can get you a lot more money, but it's fine. Trading cards, an always take, because pairing down your deck and for $3 is great. And that pairs pretty nice with Canio as well. So really we're tough between Triboulet and Yorick for the GOAT status. I'm going to say that Triboulet is not the GOAT because it is an always take. It's my second most happy one to see, and it can get you really high score, but it does require you to be playing face cards, and so Yorick I just think works better because Yorick, and we'll just do that now, gains the times mult for every 23 cards discarded, and that's just tends to be a little easier to build around and a little more free, unless you have the Eternal Burglar, in which case that's sad, and that's happened to many people. These are tough because I can argue for either of them being in the GOAT status. But I think more often than not, I want to see the Yorick versus the Triboulet. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Troubadour up next, which is +2 hand size, but -1 hand. I'm going to, again, be mostly taking this. The +2 hand size can be great. And I usually don't care about that extra hand because I usually try to keep my econ under control. So that extra $1 doesn't usually matter. But, and depending on how many gold cards, it can end up being extra money. So I like building with Troubadour. It's a good one. Turtle Bean's great early, and then, obviously it disappears, so you can't really have a super run around it, but I'm never not taking it if I have space. Vagabond is definitely a situationally good. I think the top 3 here of situationally good are right in line with what I would consider to be situationally good. Vagabond gives you the tarot card for every hand played when you have less than $4, but it means you're spending down, and that can be dangerous. It can be good, one of those double-edged swords. Vampire, another situationally good one. Most of the time when I have enhancements, I want to keep the enhancements, and the gaining the ×0.1 mult isn't the best. But obviously, Midas Mask mixed with Vampire can be phenomenally good. And yet, it's really hard to get because they're both uncommon jokers. So, I've even seen someone try for it and go through and just fail miserably at getting it because it's not one you can get easily. Walkie Talkie, for every 10 or 4, you gain +10 chips and +4 mult. I like it early, and then I don't want it later. So we'll put it in situationally good. We Joker is wonderful if you have one of those builds, so we'll put it in mostly taking, and wherever I see Hack, we'll put it right next to Hack, because those two pair very nicely together. All right, 3 left. We have Wily Joker. They're pretty garbage Jokers. Plus 100 chips for 3 of a kind. Once in a blue moon. Not great. Wrathful Joker. The plus 3 molt per spade. I'll put it in the rarely taking because it goes right in line with these 3. I probably put it above clubs because, I don't know, I just tend to go to spades more than clubs. Even if clubs probably better than spades. And then lastly, Zany Joker, plus 12 molt for 3 of a kind, once in a blue moon. So, final list. We got 5 Jokers down here in trash. Most of them end up in situationally good. And then the 4 goats being in order from common to rare. We have Cavendish, we have Constellation, Blueprint, and Yorick. And those would be the 4 I'm never unhappy to see in a run. And like I said, so the GOAT is only 1 per rarity. So 1 common, 1 uncommon. Otherwise, in the GOAT category, Brainstorm would be up there. Photo Chad Together would be up there. Tribulate would make it. Probably Trading Card. Most of the Always Taking would end up in the GOAT category. But yeah, this is my list. Let us know down in the comments what you think or where I was wrong about, which ones I'm undervaluing, which ones I'm overvaluing. I know some of these are ones where they're not the best Joker, but it's just, again, personal preference at times. Like, I love Swashbuckler, and I love Fortune Teller, and they might not be the best, and you might be like, but Red Card's so much better, and it probably is, but I really enjoy playing with Fortune Teller. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you think and which Jokers you would move around, and let us know if you want more Balatro coverage. And yeah, stay tuned to Strangely Awesome for everything from games, movies, and wrestling. We'll see you later.